Good morning friends, welcome back to Parnika tutorials. In this video, I want to discuss about try, accept and then finally in detail. So I request everyone to watch the complete video for a better understanding. Usually we have two types of errors. One is compile time errors and another one is runtime errors. The compile time errors we can even call it as syntax error. Suppose let's say that when I am writing a program, I want to use the print statement. Let me write that I am using print Parnika tutorials. This is what I want to do. But in hurry, what I did is that I forgot to write the n. I have written it as PRIT. In a hurry, I forgot to write the n. Then it will give an syntax error for you because there is no inbuilt function called PRIT. There is an inbuilt function called print to display the output on the console. Similarly, when you are writing the input function, you forgot to write the u. Then also it will give a syntax error for you. And you started using the for loop. Then instead of for, if you have written a for, then also it will give a syntax error. So if syntax error comes, then what you will do? You will again open the program and you will look at where the error came. Suppose if it is PRIT, you will modify it as PRINT, print. And then you execute the program, then you will get the output. So the compile time errors, I can call it as a syntax error. Then the programmer has to modify the code and then execute the program, then he will get the output. Now the runtime errors, meaning is that when you have written a program, there are no syntax errors. It was compiled properly or it is interpreted properly. And then when you have given the input to the user, suppose let's take that from the input, from the user, it is reading two inputs. Like let's take that user has written in a program a is equal to int of input enter a number. Enter a number. Similarly, user has read the another input b from the user enter second number or something, enter a number. Okay. Now let's take that he is performing a integer division by b. Now if user has entered a value is equal to 15, b value is equal to 5, this is absolutely 5. 15 by 5, you will get the value 3. That is absolutely fine. Suppose let's take that user has entered the a value is equal to 6, b value is equal to 2. Now also it is fine, you will get the output as 3. Suppose let's take that user has entered a value as some 6, b value user has entered 0. Now you know that 6 by 0, anything by 0, if the denominator consists of value 0, you will get infinity. Am I right? Now in this case, you will get a runtime error, meaning saying that it will give a 0 division error. You cannot divide a number with a 0. Is it clear? I hope you are able to understand. Such kind of errors we will call it as a runtime errors. Or similarly, I will tell one more example. Let's take that a is equal to int of input enter a number. Now, what user is doing, instead of entering a number, he has entered a character. Let's take that p. Then it will give you a runtime error saying that you want to enter a number, but user has entered a character, then it will give an error for you. Are you able to understand? This kind of errors we'll call it as value error, because user was supposed to enter a number but he entered a character. Similarly, let's take that I have a list. List 1 is equal to 1, 2, 3. And you know that the index will start from 0. This is 1, this is 2. Now, user want to print the value at index 4. Does any value exist in index 4? There is no value at the index 4 because this list consists of 3 elements. They are stored at the index 0, index 1 and index 2. This kind of error we'll call it as index error. You are supposed to give any index either from 0 to 2, but you have given out of the range. So such kind of errors we will call it as index error. These all categories like zero division error, value error, index error, and even let's take that you want to open a file using read function. Okay, but there is no such file. You have written a command called read, or not read, I will say that it is open. You want to open a file. Let's take that parnika.txt, and we have various modes like create, which represents X, and we have read for R, and similarly we have W for write, and we have A for append. Now I want to open it in the read mode. Now let's take that this file does not exist. Then also you will get an error. Then you can ask me, sir, if I write a W, if the file does not exist, then it will create a new file and it will open. That is absolutely fine. But if you want to open a file which is not exist using the read mode, then it will give an error for you. So all these kind of errors, we'll call them as a runtime errors. Is it clear? It depends on the input what the user is giving. Is it clear? So now, how can we handle these runtime errors? We will not modify the program. Is it clear? See, whenever the user has given the wrong input, a default error is coming. Like let's take that if A by B, B value user has entered as 0, then it will give some error, zero division error, etc, etc. But when a beginner is looking at that code, he will not understand what is actually happening. Okay, so instead of giving a default error to the user, I want to give a customized error. Then we can do with the help of try, except, and then finally. All these things I will discuss in detail for you. First, let me discuss about try and except block. So in try block, what you will do is that whatever the code you want to write, you will write in the try block. Suppose let's take that I want to read the two values from the user, and then I want to perform the division, and then I want to print the result. So I will write A is equal to int of input. I will use the input, which is a inbuilt function to read the input from the user. Enter a number. And similarly, I will ask the user to enter another number, and whatever the value user is entering, I will convert into an integer. Why I am converting into an integer? Because the input function by default, it will written as a string. So input, enter another number, or enter B value, whatever, or enter, better you can use enter numerator and enter denominator. Then what I am doing, I am writing print A integer division B, or you can perform the integer division and store it in a temporary variable, and you can print the temporary variable. And then let's take the except. Okay, now here what I want to do, I will write here. Is it clear? So what I will do is that print you cannot divide a number by 0. This is the output I want to give. This is the customized output I want to give to the user. Is it clear? Then I want to write print like, share, and subscribe. Look at here, what will happen? In this case, what will happen is that when the user have entered, let's take that first, what it will give, when you run this program, what it will give you? It will give you enter the A value, like enter a number, it will give. Okay, then let's take that user has entered 15, and B value user has entered some 5. In this case, what will be the output? 15 by 5, you will get the output as 3, and then finally you will get the output as like, share, and subscribe. This is the two outputs you will get. Suppose let's take that user has entered the b value is equal to 0. In this case, here a which is 15 by 0, then the control will go to the accept block and it will give you customized output saying that you cannot divide a number by 0. Is it clear? Now there will be another issue. Look at here. Let me consider that user have defined a list called list1 having elements 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then he is asking the user to enter the index. Let me write it as ind index is equal to int of input enter the index. Enter the index. Is it clear? Now let's take that whatever the index user is entering, I want to print it. Print list1 of int. Is it clear? Are you able to understand? So whatever the value user has entered, it is not int, it is int index. Okay, that I want to display. Now look at here. I am writing except block consists of only one statement. Let's take that print. I am thinking that as I am performing the division, there may be a possibility that user will enter the value 0. So for that one, what I am doing, you cannot divide by 0, I am writing. This is the customized output I am giving to the user. In this case, what will happen? Suppose let's take that a value user has entered some 5, b value user has entered 2. That is absolutely fine. In this case, you will get the output here as 2. Okay. Then list1 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. This is fine. Index. Now, index value user has entered, let's take that 4. Now, if there are 4 elements in the list, what will be the starting index? It will be from 0, 1, 2, 3. The programmer, he does not know that the index will start from the 0. He is thinking that the index will start from 1 and he want to print the value which is there at the index 4 according to him. Okay, so that's why he has entered the index value is equal to 4. Now print list1 of 4. Does any value is there at the index 4? Am I right? In this case, what will happen? It is a runtime error because you have a list of 4 elements which have up to index 3, but you want to print a value which is there at the index 4. So this one is a runtime error. If this is the runtime error, what will happen? As there is an except block, it will come here and it will display the customized output as you cannot divide by 0. Then the user who has given the input, he will be in confusion. I have given 5 and I can divide 2. I have not given the value 0. Then why it is giving the customized output saying that you cannot divide by 0? Then user will be in confusion. Am I right? He will think that the programmer has not written the program properly. Now can anyone tell me what modification I should do to such a way that whatever the runtime error is being generated, that runtime error only I want to display to the user. Is it clear? So in this case, what you have to do is that you need to have multiple except blocks. According to what kind of exception came, that one you have to display customized. Okay, look at here. What is the modification I will do here is that this except is or this exception is related to the 0 division error. Am I right? So you need to write here 0 division error. And remember one thing, this Z, D and E should be in capital letters. And then you have to, and the column, then you have to write this one. Similarly, if this is what kind of error? This is index error. So what you need to write? Except index error. Okay. then you need to write what you want to write here. You can write wrong index, something you can write here. Are you able to understand? So based on what kind of exception came, you need to give the customized output. Like for a zero division error, you can write zero division error. If it is a zero division error, you will get the output this one. Then index error, you will get an output this one. Suppose user has entered a wrong index, then it will give you the output as wrong index for you, customized output. Now let's take that. Sir, I don't know the user what he will enter. I am writing a program. I does not expect what the user will enter. Suppose let's take that I have written a program consists of opening the file which is parnika.txt in the read mode. I have written the program, but somehow the user has deleted that file and then he is running my program and I don't know what kind of error it will happen. Okay, but I want to give a customized error for him that something is wrong. In that case, what I have to do? Look at here. Let me write a simple program to explain that whatever the scenario we have discussed earlier. Now, try block, what I am doing is that I am asking the user to enter an input and I am asking the user to enter a number. Okay. And then I want to print that a value. Now, in except block, what I am doing, I am writing the code for zero division error. If there is a zero division, I want to display that error. Even I am not performing the division here, just for your understanding, I am writing here zero division error. Then I am writing the customized output print you cannot divide by 0. Similarly, I am writing another except block saying that index error. Okay, print I am giving a wrong index. Look at here, I have run the program. Now let's take that it will give you an output as enter a number. Now user has entered the number as P. He is entering a character. Then what kind of error it is? It is a value error. Now it does not belongs to the except block. It does not belongs to this one. Now if you run this program, it will give you some default runtime error saying that value error, some int binary code like that it will give. Then programmer will not understand. Then in this case, what you want to do? You have written the except block for the zero division error, except block for the index error. You want to write some customized output or an error for any other exceptions other than zero division error, other than index error. If it is zero division error, this statement will be printed. If it is an index error, this statement will be printed. But other than these two errors, if any other error comes, then you want to print some customized output. Then you can write like this, except exception. Okay, you can write, and then you can write the statement called print something went wrong. Something went wrong in the input or whatever you want to write. In this case, what will happen? Suppose user has entered a character instead of number, then this exception will not happen, this exception will not occur, and this exception will occur, and then you will get an output called something went wrong. So I hope with these examples you have understood in detail about the try block and except block. Now, what is this finally I will discuss for you. Okay, something you want to display always. Okay, something you want to do always, then what you will do is that, let me erase this one so that I will get some space to write this finally block. Then I will write the finally block here. Okay, whatever I want to do. I can write. I hope you have understood this video. Please like, share and subscribe if you have not subscribed to Parnika Tutorials YouTube channel. Something I want to display some customized output. In this case, suppose let's take that a value user has entered some 10. Let me give it by myself. A is equal to 10 and B is equal to 0, and here I am writing print A integer division B. Then what will happen is that what kind of exception it is? It is a zero division error. So you will get this output. You cannot divide by 0. However, this one will not get, but also you will get this output like, share and subscribe. So you will get two outputs. You cannot divide by 0, and another one is that like, share and subscribe. So what is the point of finally here is, after this entire thing, whatever you want to do, is it clear that you can perform here? That is why it is called as finally. And this should be small f. All this try, except, finally should be in small letters. I hope you have understood this concept. For better understanding, I will discuss these concepts in Jupyter Notebook. Now, let me write the program. So first I will write the try block. In that one, I will take two values from the user. So first I will take a variable A and I will ask the user to enter the value. So if you want to read the input from the user, you have to use the input function. And the input function will return everything in the form of string. However, I want to store an integer value. So that's why I'm doing the typecasting. Similarly, I can assign a b variable and ask the user to enter the b value. Now what I want to do, I want to perform the division. So I will write print a integer division b. Okay. Now I will write except. Okay. If I write except, then if I write the statement called print you cannot divide by 0. This is what I want to write it as an output. You cannot divide a number by 0. Is it clear? Then I want to write something else also. Like let's take that not in the except block. Last I want to write a statement called print like, share and subscribe to Parnika tutorials. Now if I execute this program, let's take that I'm entering the A value as 15, B value is 3. Then you will get the output as 5. Then in the next line you will get the output as like, share, subscribe to Parnika tutorials. If you have any doubt, let me execute it. See, you got the output as 5 because A value is 15, B value is 3. 15 integer division 3 is equal to 5, and then you are printing the like and share and subscribe. Now you can ask me why it is not printing you cannot divide by 0, because there is no any expectation key, means there is no exception in this problem. Now let me run the program again. Now let's take that I'm entering the A value as 15, B value is 0. Now you will get the output as you cannot divide a number by 0, and then in the next line you will get the output as like, share and subscribe to Parnika tutorials. See, this is the output you are getting. Now let me modify the program little bit. Okay, this I am keeping as it is, and I am creating one list called list1, and I am taking in elements 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then I am asking the user to enter the index value int int of input enter an index. Okay, now if you look at here, how many elements are there? 4 elements are there, and you need the first index will be 0 and the last index will be number of elements minus 1. So here the indices will be 0, 0 is having the value 1, and then at the index 1 you have the value 2, at the index 2 you have the value 3, at the index 3 you have the value 4. Now let's take that I am trying to print the value whatever the indices the user is providing. Okay, suppose the user is providing the indices as 1, then I want to display the element as 2. Now look at here, I am entering the A value is 15, B value is 5. Then what will happen? 15 integer division by 5. So it will print the value 3. And now here I am getting the 3 as an output. Then I am writing enter an index. Now if I write an index as 10, then look at here. You are getting an customized error saying that you cannot divide a number by 0. Then the user will confuse. Array, I have given 15 and I have given 5 and it has given the output as 3. But when I enter the index as 10, so what is the user he want to print? He want to print a value which is there at the index 10. But it is giving the output as you cannot divide by a number by 0. So that user will confuse. So what I will do is that I will modify the program little bit to make you understand the thing. So you have various types of exceptions. So you have one exception is zero division error. So whenever there is a zero division error issue comes, then this statement will be executed, like you cannot divide a number by 0. If it is some other exception like what you call index error, because here you have provided an index which is not there, so that error we will call it as an index error. Then in this case you can say that wrong index. Okay, now look at here, if I execute this program, let me enter the A value is 15, B value is 3, and the index I am entering is 10. Now you are getting a correct one. 15, 3, 15 integer division 3 is 5. That is absolutely fine. Now you have entered an index 10. That index is a wrong index. Then you are displaying the output as like, share, and subscribe to Parnika. Then user will understand that okay, the 10 index is not there. Now look at this one. Let me execute it again. Now let's take that I'm entering the A value is 15, B value is 3, I'm getting the output as 5. Now I'm entering the index as 0. Then what I want to print? I want to print an element which is there at the 0th index in list 1. So it will give the output as 1. Then it will give you like, share, and subscribe to Parnika tutorials. So this is absolutely fine. What I want to highlight here is that whenever there is an exception, then corresponding except block will be executed. If there is no exception, then there is no issue. Now let's take that. You may have one doubt. Sir, in this program, if there is a zero division error, I have written the corresponding one. If it is an index error, this is fine. Now let's take that user is doing some other mistake. Then I can write like except, then I can write exception. Okay, then I can write like print something went wrong, something went wrong. Suppose let me give a simple example. Let me write some z is equal to int input, same thing, means I want to read in a value from the user and store it in the variable called z. Now I am printing the z. Look at here what will happen. Now if I run this program, I am asking the user to enter the value. Let's take that user has entered the A value is 15 and B value is 3. Then it will give you the output as 5. This is fine. Now I have entered the index as 0. Then it will display the output as 1. This is fine. Now I have asked the user to enter the value. Instead of entering the value, I have entered a character which is a P. Then it is an issue. Am I right? So in this case, what will happen? This is an exception. So it is not a zero division exception, not an index exception. So then what will happen? This exception, which is something went wrong will be displayed as an output, and then you are getting like, share and subscribe to Parnika tutorials. Now let me discuss about finally. Okay, so what I will do here is that this like, share, subscribe to Parnika tutorials, I want to keep it in the finally block. Okay, now look at here. Let me run the code again. Oh, sorry. F should be small f. Okay. Now enter the a value. Let me enter the a value as 15. B value is 3. Then I will get the output as 5. Then I am entering the index as some 6. Then wrong index. Then like, share and subscribe to Parnika tutorials will be displayed. So any exception has come. Finally, the final block will be executed. Now let me run the program again and let me give some other input. 15, 3, I'll get 5. At 0 index, 1 is there. Now user is asking enter a value, I'm entering 6. Now I'm getting the output as 6, and also the finally block also executed like, share and subscribe to Parnika tutorials. I hope with these programs you have understood how the try block, except block and finally block will be executed. If you still have any doubts related to this concept, feel free to ask me in the comment section. I will try to clear your doubts as early as possible. Thank you for watching the complete video. Have a nice day.